So that
Gee,
toxicity
well,
was there for a long time.
yeah, but don't let that stop you traveling to Australia though. You'll be okay. You just got to be careful.
That was me sunbathing on the grass out the front, and it was full of ants and stuff. So
yeah,
Aussies.
Well, thanks for that little diversion.
Yeah. Anyway, where was I at? So whitetail spider bite. Oh yeah, so I'm sick of being fatigued. I get something in my life which makes me more fatigued. I want to go on. Maybe I just need this bit of medication. Something in my life gives me that medication. Anyway, then at that point, I'd finally gone to a gastroenterologist again because I'd cut myself off the medical system before then because they were just telling me you got to kill yourself. You need to go on all these things. You need to have surgery. You need to go on these chemo drugs. And I'm like, this isn't me. This isn't for me. But I've finally gone back and they're like, Lachlan, you nearly killed yourself. What are you doing? You crazy? Blah, blah, blah. After that, I have the shakes, and in my head, I'm telling myself it was the prednisolone that set me back. I had a period where, the stomach was fine. It actually was best it's ever been. And then it got worse again. I think that was from anxiety. And then I had this medication which completely screwed me. So I give it a month or two, but every time I try and have solid foods, which was a grape, for instance, a piece of fruit, I had a 10 out of 10 stomach pain, excruciating stomach pain. And, so I finally got myself off the hospital. I finally settled the shakes because I was waking up with the shakes, going to sleep with the shakes, just anxiety through the roof. I'd finally calmed my nervous system. I came to a point where it's completely surrendering, accepting my mortality. That was one of the big things was, memento mori, that I'm going to die. It's a matter of time. Let's just live each day with no expectations, go into it with love, and whatever outcome happens, it's in my own highest good. So that's what I was just feeding myself. So I finally got myself to hospital, and after a week in hospital, and you never want to be in the I don't know what's it called, the bowel emergency in hospital. It is foul. The smells in there are next level. I woke up from smell. I've never woken up from smell before.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, after a month there, I finally had my gastroscopy, colonoscopy, and they ended up finding a bezoar. So this was a mass which something probably got lodged. I had a 5 millimeter stricture, and when I was vegan, I was having a lot of seeds and nuts because I'm trying to get the calories up, and probably something like that got lodged on my duodenum, and that was why the indigestion was getting worse. And then over the next couple of years, I've taken myself off the medical system, but that thing's still lodged there, and it's growing. The fibrous foods is just growing and growing and growing and growing, and it's causing intermittent blockage. So I actually, they told me the rest of your gut looks fine. There's no inflammation, there's no signs of disease anywhere, except that duodenum had actually expanded. I think it went from 5 millimeters to 13 millimeters, so over doubled in size in 2 years, despite that bezoar being there. The bezoar just outgrew it. So one, I feel like I attracted that. That was a very left field outcome. None of the doctors there even had seen that before. They were all in shock. And that was me, I let go of expectations. I don't know what's going to happen because, everyone else is expecting to see the worst, my gut to be completely ruined. But it wasn't. And it was a little bit of an affirmation and an ego check for me because I was oh, actually what I did was right. If that bezoar wasn't there, it would have worked, blah, blah, blah. So I went back to what I was doing for a little bit. First of all, my stomach acids were going insane, absolutely insane. First of all, I've had this stricture for over a decade and then this bezoar for 2 years. So my stomach acids didn't even know what to do. They were howling 24/7 for about 2 months. Anyway, after about 5 months of that, I put on maybe 10 kilos of water weight. I still was fatigued. I had all this edema, felt like shit. I was like, something needs to give. This isn't going to work for me. The people that are in my ear that I'm seeking external help from to fit my narrative are telling me, just keep doing what you're doing. You've got to be patient. It can take like 5 years. I'm like, mate, 5 years. I'll be like, mid-30s. What? Like, I want to be creating a dynasty. I want to be creating a dynasty before then. So that's when I was just like, stuff this. And I'd also just got back from Cairns, and there was some person that was trying to heal himself from Crohn's disease in a similar fashion to how I did. And he's been doing it for over a decade. And it was like kind of looking myself in the mirror. Like, he's fearful of everything. He's attracted, like, he's got the business of his dreams. He takes like yoga retreats. I don't know, or meditation retreats. I don't know how this guy does. Like, we listen to so many people about health and wellness when they don't exhibit health and wellness in themselves. And he has this raw vegan cafe in Cairns. He's living the lifestyle that he wants, but the one thing that he wants is health. That's the one thing that he doesn't have. So I just seeing how obsessed he was on it and just how much he wasn't getting there. And then whereas you see the other extreme of example was my hairdresser, Bruno. Bruno's in his 90s, still cutting hair. He drinks shots of coffee throughout the entire day. His friends come in all the time to visit him to smoke. So he smokes in Sydney. He's doing shots of liquor, shots of coffee. He's in his 90s. He's still cutting hair. He's still talking shit. He's like, wow. Someone comes into the shop, cool, I get some money. If not, I go to the TAB, I have some fun, might get some money. And I'm like, this guy is a legend. That's the mindset that I want to have. Like, he's not stressed about anything. It's just, and he's healthy. So that was a point where I really shifted gears. I really let go. I decided, look, like, if I have to go on medication to get better, I have to go on medication to get better. But let's try other things. So the first thing I started doing was, and at that point I'd started looking into like meat a bit more and realizing that, actually humans have been eating meat for 2.5 million years. Maybe there's something to it. I started having bone broth, and that was a huge step for me. And immediately that was like medicine. My chi was picked up. And then I started having Chinese medicine, and again that was like, the herbs lifted my energy up. So then I was able to eat more foods, because at first, like, having a grain of rice was insane for me because my body just couldn't assimilate it. And then it really just snowballed from there. I ended up going to the gastroenterologist, and then at that point, I'd made such big changes by the time I got there. Within like a month or two, I just kept doing what I was doing because it was working. And then snowball, what is it like? So this is May 2022. That would have been October 2019 or September 2019. You see me now. So
wow,
two and a half years later, I went from being, mid 60 kilos with a lot of edema, bloated, fatigue, to being, 120 kilos, 260 pounds. And I'm doing things that I couldn't even do as a kid. Like, I can do cartwheels now, which I know doesn't sound insane. Some people will come out of the womb doing cartwheels, but as a 7-footer, where you're told your entire life that you're too tall to do that, you're too tall to do that, with all those limiting beliefs, and then having I apparently have forward slippage of my vertebrae. I reckon I've put that back in place now.
That's amazing.
Such an unstable spine. Like, now I can get inverted. And yeah, I'm doing things I've never been able to do before.
So that's an amazing story, and we are going to talk to you more about this over the next few months. But what do you? Now, first of all, that clump in your bowel, is that still there, or did that shift?
Oh, that was removed. So that was like
they took it out.
And on that, like, when I woke up, it just felt like my entire throat and my entire everything was just scratched up, because they just like would have got it with clamps and just pulled it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I remember waking up and I had this black stuff in my mouth, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
Oh my gosh, the stuff you got to do. But thank God that you got all that sorted out. And do you think, what do you think out of that story was one of the biggest shifts that actually helped, get rid of the Crohn's disease? What do you think was one of the mind? Yeah.
It's a mindset. It's all a mindset. It all starts right there. You can't achieve anything. You can say diet, you can say whatever, but it all starts with the mind.